It was the first day of school, and the energy in the air was electric. The hallways buzzed with chatter as students found their classrooms, exchanging summer stories and nervous laughs. In room 214, the bell rang, and Mrs. Carmichael, a seasoned teacher with a reputation for her strict demeanor, called the room to order. She scanned the class, her sharp gaze pausing on a boy seated in the back row. He was new, quiet, with an air of confidence that didn't match his simple clothes. His name was Darius, a transfer student, and the only black student in the class. Mrs. Carmichael's eyes narrowed. "You," she said curtly, pointing at him. "What are you doing here?" The room went silent. Darius raised his head slowly, his expression calm but unwavering. "I'm here to learn, ma'am," he replied, his voice steady. The teacher's lip curled slightly, barely hiding her disdain. "This class isn't for everyone. I have high expectations, and I don't waste my time on those who can't keep up." A few students exchanged uneasy glances. Darius met her gaze evenly. "I think I'll manage." Mrs. Carmichael didn't respond. Instead, she moved on with the lesson, pointedly ignoring Darius for the rest of the class. Days turned into weeks, and her treatment of him grew colder. She refused to call on him, skipped over his questions, and once even marked his assignment as incomplete despite it being flawless. But Darius didn't react. He remained composed, watching and listening, his presence growing more enigmatic with every passing day. The other students started to notice his intelligence, the quiet way he corrected their mistakes without arrogance, and how he always seemed to know more than the lesson demanded. One day, during a heated discussion about a complex math problem, Mrs. Carmichael grew frustrated. "If you're so smart, Darius," she snapped, "why don't you come up here and teach the class?" Darius hesitated for a moment, then stood. The class watched as he approached the board, his movements deliberate. He picked up the chalk and began solving the problem with ease, his handwriting neat and confident. But halfway through, he paused, looked at the teacher, and said, "You're teaching this concept wrong." The room fell into stunned silence. Mrs. Carmichael's face turned crimson. "Excuse me?" Darius turned back to the board, calmly explaining how the traditional method she was using overlooked a simpler, more effective solution. As he spoke, the students leaned forward, captivated. By the time he finished, even Mrs. Carmichael couldn't deny the elegance of his explanation. "Where did you learn that?" she demanded, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and unease. Darius smiled faintly. "From experience." It was the first crack in her faade, but it wasn't the last. Over the next few weeks, Darius began to drop hints about his past. He spoke of sleeping in libraries, teaching himself calculus from discarded textbooks, and of a mentor who had believed in him when no one else did. His insights went beyond academics. He spoke of resilience, of seeing potential in the most unlikely places, and of a world that underestimated people like him. The students were drawn to him, and soon, the class dynamic began to shift. Mrs. Carmichael's authority wavered as her students questioned her dismissive treatment of Darius. She grew more paranoid, her animosity toward him intensifying. But Darius remained calm, as if he was waiting for something. Then, one day, everything changed. A letter arrived at the school, addressed to the principal. It contained an anonymous donation, millions of dollars, earmarked for improving educational opportunities for underserved communities. Attached was a note. "This is for the students who are overlooked, underestimated, and ignored. They deserve better. Teach them well." The donor's name? Darius Coleman. The revelation sent shockwaves through the school. Mrs. Carmichael was forced to confront the truth. The boy she had dismissed as unworthy was not only brilliant, but also far more accomplished than she could have imagined. As she stood in front of the class, struggling to regain control, Darius gathered his things and walked out. He paused at the door, turning back to look at her one last time. "You asked why I'm here," he said quietly. "I came to remind you and them that potential doesn't come in just one color." And with that, he was gone, leaving behind a legacy that would change the school forever. But as the students and staff pondered the mystery of Darius, one question lingered: where would he go next, and what other secrets did he carry?